Hey you guys, this is Miss Rogers here. I have my markers, I have an eraser, my whiteboard and document camera. Now I'm going to show you a strategy that you can use for addition and subtraction. This strategy is called the break apart strategy. Okay. So this breakout strategy is great because you can dissect your numbers. That means you can take your numbers and break them apart. And make your problems easier for you to solve. First, we're going to start with an addition problem. And the addition problem that we're going to start with is 137 plus 55. Okay, so this problem is what we call solving for the unknown. Okay, and usually when you solving for an unknown problem, you can use a symbol, and you can use any type of symbol that you want to use. And in this, I'm going to use the box for my symbol. Okay, so we are trying to we're going to be trying to find out how to solve for this for the unknown of 137 plus 55. So when you are doing the break apart strategy, you're going to look at how many digits there are in your number. Okay, and it's the place value, where it starts and where it ends. So in the numbers 137, you have the hundreds. And I'm going to use a marker to differentiate each number. So my 100 is gonna be brown. My 10 is gonna be blue. And my ones are gonna be green. Okay. So as I said, in the numbers 137, you have the hundreds, the tens, and the ones. I'm going to make what I call a spider web drawing. And it's just simple as this. Okay. And then over here, I have the numbers 55. But in this problem, in this number, I only have the tens and the ones. So I'm just going to give it 2 little legs. So let's look at this 1. Let's look at this 1 in the 137 number. And I know that this 1 is more than just one item. I know that this 1 is this 1 is a group of 100s. All right, so that is, I'm gonna use my black marker to do that. So hold on. And then I know that this 3 is more than just 3 items. It's a group of 10, 3 groups of 10, which is 30. And then I bring my 7 ones. Now, I have broken the number apart. And I put it in what we call an expanded form. So if I was putting the addition symbols, I would put them like right here. And this is how you will write 137 in expanded form. Now I'm going to look at 55. There is no number here in the hundreds place, so I don't have to put anything in there. But I do have this number 55. And I have the 5 in the tens place. This 5 in the tens place stands for 50. And then I have my 5 ones. Okay. So that I've broken my numbers apart, and it's going to make it easier for me to solve this problem. So now I'm going to start with looking at my hundreds place. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and use my same color markers to represent. That's the hundreds. tens, tens, ones, ones. So I'm using these different markers so that I can be able to, so that you guys can see my steps from one step to the next step. So if I take my work here, I got my group of 100s. So I'm going to run out of room here. So there's nothing there. So 100 plus 0 is equal to 100. Okay. And now I'm simply going to solve. I solved for that. I simply just did 100 plus 0 is equal to 100. So my next step is really important that you line your numbers up based on the place value so that you can get the correct answer, because if you don't line them up, you can get the wrong answer. So I'm going to look at my 30 and my 50 here. Those are both are in the 10 place. In the 10 place value system, it is in the 10. So now I'm going to line them up. I'm going to use the blue marker. 30 plus 50. Now, if I can use my knowledge of what I already know about adding tens, okay? So I know that I can add 3 plus 5, and it's going to give me 8. And I just simply just add my 0 to it. And now I have my ones. Seven plus 5. Now, I do know automatically, I know that 7 plus 5 is 12. So I'm just going to write that. But what if I didn't know it? I can use what I know about making friendly tens. I can find a number out of 5 that's gonna add up to 10 using 7. So I know that 7 plus 3 is 10. Then I add 2 more, will give it 12. But like I said, I already knew that 7 plus 5 is 12. But if you didn't know, that's a good way for you to be able to break that number apart as well, to be able to solve 7 plus 5. All right, so now I'm going to add up all of these numbers. And like I told you, that it was very important for you to know, to be able to line your numbers up so it can make it easier for you to add them and get the correct answers. Now, you can add up any numbers, and you can put these numbers any way you want to put them. But if you don't put them in the right order, like your hundreds here, you got 100, then you got 80, that's 2-digit, 12, 2-digit. If you don't line them up right, you're going to get the wrong answer. All right, so let me go ahead and add these numbers up. 0 plus 0 plus 2 is equal to 2. I know it's kind of hard to see it, but I'm going to write it final over here. 0 plus 8 plus 1 is 9. 1 plus 0 plus 0 is 1. Now, there's no zeros there, but we do know there's nothing there to represent. There's not a number there in the hundreds place, but so we just leave it as, we just say 0, so that we can keep the same pattern going on here. So now my square is equal to 192. I just solved for what we call solving for the unknown number, and I used the break apart strategy for solving this addition problem. So now my next thing is to show you how to use the same strategy to solve a subtraction problem. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and erase this. And so for this one, we're going to solve for 116 minus 45. And this time, I believe I'm going to use the triangle as my symbol to represent the unknown number. So I'm going to use my break apart strategy again. I have another 3-digit number. Another 3-digit number here. So I'm going to draw my 3 lines like I did before, the spider web. And then I'm going to draw just 2 here because I still do not have a number in the 100s place. So I still have just the 10s and the 1s, okay? So I do know in this problem, this 1 stands for 100, not just one single number, because I have one group of 100s. And I do know that this 1 here is in the 10 place, so I got one group of 10s. And then I know that I have a 6th one, and I'm going to bring it down like that. Okay, so I can still just stick my minuses in there. And in this number, I still don't have a 100, nothing in the 100 spot. So I do have 4 in the 10s. So I got 4 groups of 10. Then I have 5 ones. Okay. So we're going to switch colors. I'm gonna switch colors, and I'm gonna go ahead and mark them the same way that I marked them before. And I want you to know that this right here the brown represent 100. The blue represents the 10s place. And the green represent the 1. So you'll know what step we're in. Now, I'm going to make sure that I'm subtracting, because you have to make sure that you're using the subtraction symbols in here, because this is what this problem is telling me to do. It's asking me to subtract the problem. So the first, I'm going to start with my group of 100s, like I did before. And I'm going to try to write it where you guys can see it, because I done ran out of room. I wrote too big up here. So 100, and I have nothing here. So I have 100 minus 0. And I can easily just solve for this problem by saying that 100 minus 0 is 100. So next, I'm going to look at this, the 10, and the 40. I know that you might have noticed that, hey, I can't take 40 away from 10. There's no way. There's no way that I can take 40 away from 10. But I'm going to just still go ahead and write this up here so that we can see. There's no way that I can do that. So now I know that I'm going to have to borrow. And I'm going to have to borrow from this 100. So I'm going to go ahead and cross out this 100 and make it a 0. Because there's nothing in that place now, because I just borrowed and I took it and gave it to the 10. And it's the same thing as saying 100 plus 10 is equal to 110. Now that I've borrowed and I'm ready to subtract, because now I have 110 in this place to be able to to subtract now. All right, so so now that we have 110 minus 40, I am going to count back by 10s to help me to solve this, okay? So I'm going to take my black marker. I know I have 110, so I'm going to count back. 100. I need to move it because I got to have room to put something else there. So 100, 90, 80, 70. So 110 minus 40 is 70. But then, like I said, you have to make sure you line it all up so that when you get ready to solve for this, you'll be able to make sure they're in the right place. Okay, so my last step is to take a look at the ones. And these are the ones that's marked with the green up under there. So 6, minus 5 is equal to 1. It was very easy to solve for that because I knew if I'm taking 5 away from 6, I have 1 left. All right, so now I am ready to solve this problem. Okay, so when you're using the breaking apart strategy, when you're using the breaking apart strategy, it does not matter. It does not matter whether you are adding or subtracting. Let me go ahead and put my 1 over here up under this place right here, because you got to make sure that you're keeping it lined up. Okay. So before I put my symbol there, I want you to know, no matter what you're doing, if you're using the breaking apart strategy, you must always, no matter whether you're subtracting or adding, you must always add your final numbers because you got a partial remainder here. Okay, so now we know there's a 0 here, so we really don't have to add that, you know, but you can just add it in anyway. And you can just say 0 plus 1 is 1. 7, bring it down. So my unknown is equal to 71. So my friends, this is how you use the break apart strategy. Now I know that you guys use this in 2nd grade, and you can continue to use this same strategy if you get to a problem where you can't solve it. You can use the same strategy to solve for your problem. Even if you have a bigger number, if you have a 3-digit number and a 3-digit number, you can do the same thing. All right, you guys, see you soon.